What will Americans move for? And what does it say about growing our communities? I'm a journalist who covers entrepreneurship and workforce trends for Technically, and I have a fresh story. The US Census Bureau has great data that we at Technically analyze. More than 40% of Americans moved for housing reasons, cheaper cost of living. A quarter moved for family reasons. Hey, this is where I grew up, or I'm relocating to be near the kids. Just 16% moved for employment reasons. Oh, I moved for a job, and this is declining over time. Then everything else is the rest. This includes for college reasons, for climate change reasons, which shows up in the data, and others. So 85% of Americans move in any given year for one of three reasons: housing, family, jobs. And housing's the big one that's growing. For the last several decades, Americans have been getting less mobile over time, but we are still way more mobile than most other rich countries. The average American will still move 4 times more in their life than the average European. And so economic development strategy makes sense. We still can relocate people, at least compared to other parts of the world. This is a map showing domestic migration in the United States in 2024. The redder the state, the hotter, more people moved there. The darker the blue, the colder, the more people left there. And of course, that's in relative terms, proportional. And of course, this is in percentage terms. So Texas and Florida, still big states that pulled in the most net migrants, but percentage-wise, Alabama, Tennessee, and the Carolinas performed even better. Nevada and Idaho as well. For decades, the trend has been Americans moving from the dense Northeast and the Midwest to the Southeast and the Southwest part of our country. For a while, we thought this was somewhat inevitable, and there became an uncomfortable truth. It started to feel very partisan, that all of the Democrat-led states were losing population and all the Republican-led states were gaining them. Not quite anymore. The Atlantic recently captured this overall trend. The growth rates in those Republican states have been slowing. I don't want to make this partisan. Actually, I'm going to do the opposite. Because the main thrust of this piece and the overall trend is that maybe those big, old Democrat-led states and cities were just early on a trend that all American states are going through. Everyone's moving less, which would look familiar to Europeans, but also that we're gunking up the system with regulation, NIMBYism, and a whole bunch of stuff that makes housing difficult to build. Older cities with lots of employers still have some benefit to attracting workers, but it's declining. Older, denser places with lots of family ties that would give someone a reason to go back home are benefited by these trends. But all the actions on housing, nearly half of American moves happen because of housing. So you want to attract more Americans? Make it easier to build it more densely, build it more cheaply. It's not just about taxes, it's about what you deliver on those taxes. And that's my answer to the question.